Culinary schools teach you how to cook, but from what I hear from being around pro kitchens and chefs, there's an awful lot you won't learn there. Namely, how to plate food in a way that is truly beautiful, not just delicious. And if you're a home cook, plate design may be something you're completely unaware of. So if you clicked on this video, then I'm guessing you've probably felt this. Your flavours are great, but your plates still look flat, and you're not really sure why they don't get the same reactions as the dishes you see online or in a top restaurant. In a world where diners eat with their eye first, bland, messy plating is a big problem. It's holding your food back from standing out, from getting the attention they deserve, from creating that wow moment that brings diners back and tell their friends. Now I've spent over a decade photographing dishes for some of the UK's best visual chefs, and I've seen firsthand how they take food that tastes delicious but are intentional enough to make it look amazing too. Today I'm sharing the plating secrets that you won't learn in culinary school, so your plates finally look as good as they taste. And make sure you stick around to the end, because the last secret is the simplest but most powerful shift you could make tonight to elevate your plating instantly. Have you ever had a plate of food placed in front of you and thought, wow, before even tasting it? That reaction isn't luck, it's intentional. Great platists know the difference between a dish that looks random and one that feels stunning can come down to plate hierarchy. Hierarchy is like a visual roadmap for the diner's eye. It shows them where to look first, where to explore next, and where to land for that perfect bite. Just like an interior designer arranges a room to set a mood, the way you arrange your plate sets the stage for the diner's entire experience. A plate with delicate garnishes and thoughtful spacing hints at elegance and precision. A rustic, abundant plate signals warmth and comfort. Hierarchy isn't just about making the plate look pretty though. It prevents your dish from feeling like a chaotic jumble and instead invites the eye to explore your colours, textures and shapes, creating curiosity before the first bite. But how do you actually start? Firstly, you've got to attract. Grab attention with a vibrant sauce, a striking garnish, or your hero ingredient. Intrigue. Layering contrast with colours, textures and shape to guide the eye and encourage exploration. Finally, deliver. Let the design guide your diner towards the perfect bite, flavour matching the visual promise. When you understand and use hierarchy, your plate moves from looking accidental to feeling intentional and composed, guiding your diner's experience before they even taste your food. And this nicely leads us on to the next crucial part of creating hierarchy: using colour with purpose. If you've seen many of the videos on this channel, you know I talk about the importance of colour a lot. And here's the truth: colour is the easiest win in plate design, but it's also the easiest thing to get wrong. The basic advice you might get from culinary school is just add a bit of colour there, often by throwing on a microherb or two at the end. And if you're lucky, they mention how colour should match the flavour of the dish, so that the garnish needs to serve a purpose beyond just looking pretty. But what they don't teach is how or why to use colour to control emotion, add to your dish's story, or create a clear focal point on the plate. Colour matters because it's one of the first things the diner's eye sees, and it sets the tone for the entire experience. The right use of colour makes your plate feel fresh, warm, playful and elegant. Take Chef Ben Watson here, and his venison dish is a good example. The deep reds of the meat, the earthy brown of the mushrooms and the golden warmth from the roasted elements immediately evoke a cosy winter setting, as though you're sitting by a fire with a beautiful glass of wine. This warmth isn't just in the colour though, it's reflected in the dish's entire flavour profile, reinforced by the depth, smokiness and richness that the visual palette suggests. The colours guide your eye to the venison as the star, while the supporting tones creates a comforting layered story on the plate. This is the difference between a plate that looks flat and one that makes people lean in, take notice and feel curious about what you've created. When you learn to use colour well, it becomes one of your most powerful tools as a plate designer, helping you to turn your ideas into a dish that captures attention and leaves a lasting impression. Now, before we move on, I wanted to share something I've noticed from speaking to many chefs over the decades and through the Food Envy podcast. Almost none of them ever received any help with plating. If anything, they've learned on the job, often under pressure, and figuring it out as they went along. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you've experienced too. So for many new chefs and home cooks, that path isn't practical, and even if you can do it that way, it takes years, and often these results still don't reflect the beauty your food deserves. So that's one of the reasons I created the Plating Gym book, to give chefs and passionate home cooks a clear, practical framework to improve the visual side of their food and develop their plating skills with confidence. If you want to take your learning further, you can order a copy of the book using the links in the description below. But if you're looking for a simple place to start, you can download my free Plate Like a Pro checklist below. It's helped literally thousands of chefs and home cooks become much more intentional in their plating. And it's a great first step if you're ready to level up the visual side of your food. But even with beautiful colours, your plates can still feel cluttered if you don't master one of the biggest secrets of plate design: negative space. Now, negative space is one of those secrets that separates plates that feel calm, elegant, and deliberate from those that feel cluttered and unsure. It's the intentional use of empty space around your ingredients, allowing each element to breathe while guiding your diner's eye exactly where you want it to go. Think of the white space around a painting, or the pauses in a piece of music. It's not wasted space, it's what gives everything else impact. Take this dish from Chef Anthony Raffa as a great example. He's taken something as humble as a herb salad and turned it into a showcase of negative space and balance. Each leaf, blossom and herb is given its own space on the plate, surrounded by space that allows its shape, colour and texture to stand out clearly. It's a really brave design choice. I think many chefs would have layered these ingredients into a small mound, playing it safe with a more obvious and conservative presentation. But this layout invites the diner to slow down and appreciate the individuality of each element, showcasing Anthony's confidence not only in his design, but in his ingredients and skill as a chef. Using negative space forces you to be intentional and to trust that simplicity can be powerful. It encourages you to hold back, to resist the urge to fill every gap, and to allow the plate itself to become part of the design. It's this restraint that can elevate a dish, creating anticipation, curiosity, and a sense of wonder. If you want to start using negative space on your own plates, here are some questions to ask yourself. Does each element on the plate have enough room to stand out? Is there a clear focal point, or is everything fighting for attention? Am I adding elements because they help the dish, or because I'm afraid of leaving space? What would happen if I took one element away? Would the plate feel calmer or more focused? When you begin to see the plate itself as part of the design, your plate will transform. Now that you understand the power of negative space, the next step is knowing how to place your elements with intention, using layout styles that will bring your dish together beautifully. The next step you definitely won't get taught in culinary school is knowing where to place your ingredients with intention. And this is where the SLIC framework comes in. SLIC stands for stacked, linear, isolated and condensed. It's a simple practical tool that gives chefs and home cooks a clear structure to work from. Now, I've covered the SLIC framework in much more detail before, so if you want to dive deeper, click on the video here to explore it fully. When you're staring at a blank plate, not knowing where to start can feel overwhelming. SLIC helps you narrow down your options and gives you a foundation to build on, so your plating feels purposeful rather than random. Here's a quick refresher. Stacked, build height and drama, laying ingredients for depth and intrigue. Linear, arrange elements in a line, guide the diner's eye. Isolated, give each component space for a minimalist, clean look. Condensed, bring its elements together for a warm, abundant feel. Adopting or blending these layout styles provides you with a creative constraint that helps, rather than hinders your creativity. They allow you to focus on colour, texture and storytelling, while ensuring your plates remain clear, confident and visually engaging. So choosing a layout helps you plate with intention. But how do you execute your vision in the kitchen during service, or when plating from home? This is where planning and the hits to the plate method becomes your secret weapon. Now you've chosen a layout and have a clear vision for the plate, the next challenge is bringing that vision to life under real conditions. In culinary school, you learn cooking techniques, knife skills, and the right temperature for resting your hero ingredients, for example. You learn how to get your mise en place ready. But then what? This is where the concept of hits to the plate can really help. Hits to the plate breaks your plating into a clear, manageable sequence, ensuring each element goes on the plate with intention, while maintaining temperature, texture, and presentation. Think of it as your plating game plan, where each hit is a step, placing your protein, adding a puree, a garnish, or finishing with the sauce. Planning your hits in advance reduces last-minute stress, keeps your plating consistent, and frees you up to make each plate look as beautiful as it tastes. It transforms what could feel chaotic into a calm, confident process, helping your plating move from reactive to intentional and composed. I was first introduced to this brilliant concept by former UK MasterChef winner Stephen Edwards, so check out his hits to the plate for this stunning strawberry dish. In this dish, I would say there are 6 hits to the plate, all of which have been made in advance, so it's purely about how the elements are added to the dish. The first hit to the plate is the strawberry diplomat cake, to which he's added bee pollen. The second hit is fresh strawberries added to the side. Notice how they're pre-cut, and he knows exactly where he wants them, and he spread them out next to the cake. He will add olive oil to this too. Again, see how everything is ready and in easy reach. Third hit is the crumb. The function of this is twofold. Firstly, a wonderful crunch to a fairly soft dessert. But second, and perhaps more important, is a functional reason. One of the subsequent hits is a sorbet, and this will stop it rolling around and melting too soon. The fourth hit is a white chocolate twirl, which again is added with precision and accuracy. He knew in advance that this is where it was going to be placed between the cut strawberries, so there's no confusion or scrabbling around for ideas. The fifth hit is the marigold leaves to add flavour and for me a wonderful pop of colour to break up the red in the dessert. Sixth hit is the strawberry sorbet itself, to complete this stunning and delicious dessert. By knowing the number of hits to the plate, you can estimate the plating time needed. Imagine trying to serve 4 of these desserts at your dinner party. Understanding the hits helps you gauge whether you need an extra pair of hands in the kitchen to plate up perfectly and on time. As we wrap up, just wanted to remind you that plating isn't about chasing perfection or making your food look fancy just for the sake of it. It's about bringing intention to your craft, creating plates that capture attention and leave a lasting impression, while communicating the care that you put into every dish before your diner even sits down to eat. If you're here, it means you care about the visual side of your food as much as I do. And that's exactly why I'd love for you to join this community of platists. It doesn't matter if you're a chef or a passionate home cook. If you believe great cooking deserves great presentation, well, you're in the right place. So if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing and giving it a like so it reaches more chefs and home cooks out there to help them improve their plating too. And let me know in the comments which part of your plating you're working on right now, or what you'd like help with next. I read every comment and it really helps me shape the future of the videos for you. So click on the video here and I'll see you in the next one.